I was on that plane quite nervous.
Oh.
And exactly. And then I said, please, can I go into a studio and see the rough just on my own?
Yeah.
Will nobody come in with me? Because I didn't want everybody to be looking at me to see whether or not I liked it or not. And I remember holding onto his ankles thinking, how am I related to this person? I was often in trouble, didn't know how to get my homework in on time. Stoick yells, you are not my son! And after he died, I discovered it was beside his bed. It was in his bed. So now that copy is beside my bed, in my bedside.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm remembering it all.
Yeah.
It just brings up the 70s.
It's funny, isn't it? We're about the same age, Cress.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Flashback Tracks, the podcast where we travel back in time with the magic of just one song to explore together some really meaningful memories. I'm Thomas Leeds, and this powerful link between music and memory is something really close to my heart because when I was younger, I woke up from a brain injury with no memory, and it wasn't until years later that one song from the 1980s began to gradually bring those memories back. And I'm still on that journey today, which is why I'm really excited to see what else might come back when I talk to my incredible guests about their own past and the music that can take them back there. And today, oh my goodness, I am over the moon because I have with me one of my absolute heroes. She is the author, illustrator of the global hit series How to Train Your Dragon, as well as the fabulous Wizards of Once and Which Way to Anywhere, which I adore as well. She has sold, if I've got it right, more than 16 million books worldwide in 46 languages. I hope I have that right.
Sounds great.
She does sound great, doesn't she?
Sounds really good.
In 46 languages, adapted into no fewer than 4 feature films, as well as 3 TV series. And as if that wasn't enough, those beautiful dragons now have their own adventure world in Florida, a big theme park, which is just the stuff of dreams. I can't wait to go one day. But she is also, and this is really important to me, she is also responsible for a lot of new, amazing school libraries up and down the UK, thanks to her incredible campaign.
Oh, yes.
As Children's Laureate. Cressida Cowell, the living legend, welcome to Flashback Tracks. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. And in fact, we just had some really exciting news yesterday on the school library.
Way.
Yes, I just opened a library with Rachel Reeves, and Rachel Reeves made this whole speech, the Chancellor.
Yeah.
Basically, she committed, the government is committed to opening up, by the end of the Parliament term, a library in every primary school in the country should have a library, and they've committed all of this money.
And they've committed
the first government-funded library opened yesterday.
My God. Isn't that incredible?
Result!
That is going to make such a difference.
Excited,
and honestly, I know you'll probably say no, but you can take so much credit for that because you've worked so hard.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's just such a... It was my flagship campaign when I was the Children's Laureate, because it's just so unfair. We all go into so many primary schools, and one thing it teaches you is that every kid is just as smart as every other kid.
Absolutely.
And every kid deserves the same chance.
Yeah.
But if there isn't a library in their primary school, how on earth do they have the same chance?
Yeah,
It's just not fair.
Yeah.
So,
and for so many families, the idea of buying a new book is just not affordable. So
exactly.
It's a wonderful thing. That's such great news. Thank you for announcing that here.
It's sometimes nice to have some good news.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Absolutely, especially in today's world. So,
yes.
Before we go back in time, how are you today? Well, you've kind of told me now. You're great because of that news. How are you in the present? How is life now in 2026?
Really good.
Good.
Lots of exciting things going on.
Of course, the new books that are around. I'm gonna show them to our lovely. I also just want to say thank you to the wonderful person who is listening and watching with us. Thank you for joining us. And if there's anybody that you think might like to hang out with us as well, please do share this with them, because we're gonna have a really lovely chat. And I'm really, really grateful to you for being here with us. And I just want to show you these gorgeous new books that Cressida has just released. This is the new spin-off series, isn't it, of How to Train Your Dragon? How to Train Your Dragon School. And the latest one has just come out.
And Fight of the Flame Tree.
They are absolutely gorgeous. We will get onto them as well in a minute.
We'll talk about them.
Absolutely. So, are you ready to go back in time?
I'm so ready. Always ready.
Always ready.
Always
Excellent.
Always ready.
And what's so lovely is so look at this, children. I have an actual Walkman here with me with a cassette here. And
I'm already back in time.
Yeah. And we have here your chosen flashback track, which is A Romantic Flight from the soundtrack. What an amazing thing to be able to say. A soundtrack of your first movie. Composed by John Powell.
Oh, John Powell.
Yes.
Genius.
Yeah.
John Powell is a genius.
I mean, what a moment.
Incredible music.
Just go. The whole soundtrack is amazing. So I don't know how you chose, but this one I know is special.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to pop it in, and we are going to literally go back in time.
Oh, wow.
To, I think, when that will take you back to that point. So we're going to go back in time. Are you ready to do it?
I'm ready to do it.
Let's go.
I'm ready to cry. This music always makes me cry.
So the year is 2010, I believe.
Yeah.
What is happening? Where is this taking you back to?
Oh, my goodness. We're not going to hear it.
Possibly, depending on which channel. It's okay. They can cut
but
this
can
bit
we
out.
hear it now?
Would you like to?
Oh, just take me back in the mood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's play
absolutely.
it. Sorry,
Let's
is that
do
okay?
It. Well, I mean,
have you never done that before?
Copyright or whatever, but we can play it. I think we should.
I just want to play it to get in the mood.
100%.
Thank you.
And our lovely editors can do whatever they want with this.
I see. They might not be able
I've
to
got
do
it here because I've been listening to it today. It's so gorgeous.
I don't know. Oh,
here it comes.
Oh my goodness.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It's so beautiful.
It's so gorgeous. I'm going to have to stop it there, which is so mean, because it becomes so it becomes quite epic as well, as that, they're soaring through the sky. So for the person listening and watching, if they haven't seen that first movie, it's the moment when Astrid finally gets sort of begrudgingly ends up riding Toothless, the dragon with Hiccup. You can tell I'm a fan because I know it all. And yes, I mean, so for you, how does
it's a kind of release, that music, isn't it? It's so beautiful, because there's been that tension between Hiccup and Astrid up until that moment. And then you have this beautiful music and her riding on the dragon and sort of looking at the beauty of the world underneath them. And
it really is stunning what they did with the graphics. I mean, you go from this sunset scene to them swooping above the water, and then suddenly they're in the clouds, and it's, there's the northern lights, and it's just incredible what they can.
And you get this vision, them going up into the world, up into the sky, and suddenly everything feeling in proportion, when you look down on things. And the movies kind of capture, I mean, that song is so emotional for me, because the movies capture so much of the spirit of what I was trying to say about the wild. It's very much about the dragons represent the wild. I mean, they always did in the past. Here be dragons. It represents, nature and how, our relationship with nature. Dragon riding is like trying to control nature, I suppose. And the kind of theme in both the books and the movies is about us looking at our relationship to nature. And letting it go, stopping in both the books and the movies. You sort of have to, there's a moment at the end where, of movie 3 where Hiccup releases Toothless. It's very, very poignant moment. And it's the same theme that is very much embedded in the books and is really part of it.
So when you hear that music, does it also take you back to, I would imagine, did you ever get to, how much involvement did you have in the first movie?
Well, I'm going to take you back so much in time. It takes me back so much in time because the very first, so this here, I'm going to go back even further in time. This is 30 years ago. Maybe 30 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So sometime even further than 2010, we're going back.
To me, even 2010 doesn't seem that far away. So 30 years. Now you're talking.
Now you're talking. Now we're going back. Okay, this is a picture book dummy that I took of.
No way.
This is the very first little picture book dummy that I took where Hiccup was the character. This is the little character of Hiccup. And this is the dummy that I called it the Viking who is seasick. And it's just little, I was at art school. I was at Brighton Art School 30 years ago doing an MA. And I just tore up bits of paper. You can see it's just torn up bits of paper and wrote a little bit of the story on each page.
That's incredible.
And it was called The Viking Who is Seasick.
Can I have a look?
Have it? Yeah.
Am I allowed to touch it?
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
As a fan, this is just bonkers, honestly.
And I've still got my sketchbook, but it was a bit heavy to carry around with me all day.
Of course.
Where I drew the first picture of Hiccup and his father. At the time, actually, maybe it was just after I'd left art school because I just had a baby, I suppose. And there's a moment when you have a baby where you look in the back of the car and you think they're going to let me out of hospital with a baby.
Yeah, I know.
And you start looking back to your own childhood and how you were brought up. And so Hiccup is me and Stoick is my dad.
Yeah.
This is about, although there aren't any dragons in this particular picture book, it was Hiccup and his dad. And I wrote about that because the island is a real place. The island in the books is a real place where I spend a lot of time as a child. Yeah. And I suppose, when you're having babies, you look back to your own childhood. So now I'm going back even further.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to when I was to when I was 50 years.
Yeah.
Because every year from when I was a baby, we would be dropped off on this uninhabited island off the west coast of Scotland. My dad's job was in London, but his heart was in the wilderness. And he was chairman of the RSPB that looks after birds. And after he retired, he was chairman of Kew Gardens. So that was his heart place, this island. And from when I was 9, my dad had got a boat. It was a completely uninhabited island. He got a house made from when I was 9. When we were little, we were just camping. And from when I was 9, we spent the whole summers on this island. And this was Viking Scotland. Yeah. And so the Isle of, and Vikings believed that dragons were real. Yeah. So lots of the stories were from, about dragons.
What's really funny is we also, so me and my sibling, I'm one of 6. So
are you?
Me and my little tribe. We used to go to Denmark, and so funnily enough, we used to look at a lot of Viking artifacts as kids as well. I remember there's a place called Trelleborg where they have a big long house. And it's one of the oldest things there, and just learning about Viking life and they're related dragons. I mean, obviously, dragons. What's fascinating is how dragons have popped up in cultures all over the world in different ways, haven't they? And
people believed in dragons across the world.
Yeah, and they kind of, as far as I know, they sort of projected different meanings onto them. So sometimes they were lucky, or with Vikings, it tended to be something to scare off, I think, unless I've got that wrong, to scare away, rivals or whatever. And You know a lot more about it than me.
Yeah. No, but they do. I mean, they probably would have found, ancient peoples would have found dinosaur bones, and of course, you'd find a bones of a, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Archaeopteryx or whatever those prehistoric birds were.
Yes.
And of course you can, or you find a sea, you're out
wild.
at sea, the Vikings out at sea, and you suddenly come across some whale fighting a giant squid or something. I mean,
or you see a part of a narwhal or something and you think, what on earth is that? Of
course. And then the human imagination fills in the blanks. You can absolutely see why people's across the globe believed in dragons and had that kind of but for me it always represents the wild and also what we don't know, the unexplored world. And that's very much Here Be Dragons, the world, the unexplored world. And of course the world has got very, it feels like there's nowhere left to explore anymore. Apart from in the human imagination. And so there's something very, very exciting about what we don't know. And what's very interesting is that the world feels very explored, and yet there is still so much that we don't know.
And especially in the sea. I mean, there's only a tiny bit of the sea that we know.
The human body. If a doctor says it's a virus, it probably means they have no idea.
Oh gosh, I mean, as someone with a brain injury, there were so many times when they'd have all the scans and stuff, and they just go, "Oh, we're just not sure," or we don't quite know why it's doing this or whatever. So
to go back to that track, as soon as that music. I'm in my head back in a journey. But it's How to Train Your Dragon. But it is my childhood. It is my father as well. There's something of my father in that music because the books and the movies are kind of a journey around my father.
He must have had a really big impression on you then.
A huge impression on me. He is Stoic. He is this.
Oh,
I know.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
A version of Stoic.
Yeah, of course.
My father was not, Stoic. The Stoic in the books and the movies. I mean, he has the gentleness about him, but he's also more shouty than my father was not a shouty man. He was a quiet man, but my goodness, he was stubborn. He was a man of strong opinions, and he was a man of his generation. He was a older generation. He was very much a leader, my dad. And he had a sort of wildness about him. You would never believe it if you met him because he's very gentle, very British, very, very sort of, But, he loved he loved getting lost. He loved going out to sea in storms, terrifying.
Of course.
After he died, we discovered there was no GPS on the boat because he thought it would spoil the wilderness experience. He was so, one of my, I remember him holding on to his ankles in the middle of a storm as he said, hold on to my ankles. And he was kind of, over the edge of this huge cliff looking for a nest. Was this a sea eagle's nest? Because and I remember holding on to his ankles thinking, how am I related to this person? It's just
that must have been a wonderful thing. I mean, I'd imagine as a child, especially if you were living in London most of the time, and then you would get to summer, you'd go up for summers in there. And it must have been
so different.
Was it a pleasant? I mean, I'm just assuming. I know the weather. You've talked about the weather before.
Unbelievable.
And obviously Burke has been inspired by that.
It's the most beautiful place in the whole world.
I love Scotland. I've never been to the remote islands, but Scotland generally is just gorgeous.
Go to Mull and then you can get a little boat. Well, you can get a bigger boat from from Oban to Mull, and then it's all so beautiful. Staffer, Fingal's Cave, Iona, Muckegg and Rum.
How could you not be? I think when you're someone, so as a children's author as well, who's written fantasy, how could you not be inspired by a place like that?
A real life archipelago, which is like a map that is a child-sized map, and that's also Romantic Flight. That makes me think about that whole part of Scotland. It's like a child-sized world because with the small islands and everything, you get this feeling of. So it's that song is taking me back to my childhood, and
I love it.
And this it's just extraordinary. It also, this was the first movie, Romantic Flight was in the first movie. And you can see it. I mean, who would have thought that this little,
I know,
this little flip and drawn,
yeah.
and a lot of it. I am Hiccup as well. I was not the child most likely to succeed in some way. I was, very messy, very scruffy, kind of. I struggled to concentrate. I was in trouble a lot. I'm
relating to all this.
Yes, I was very jumpy up and downy, and so I was always being told off as a kid. That's why I think I identify with sort of outside. A lot of my heroes are outsiders, or
I was going to say,
or people struggling to fit in some way, because I just often didn't get the message about. I was hello. I was a very I didn't get the message always about how you were supposed to be, and I certainly with the I was often in trouble. Didn't know how to get my homework in on time, and although I was very keen, I was always interested in learning, and so I was unintentionally in trouble. So I think that those kind of things, and looking at my dad, who was very unafraid and also very successful in an area that I knew I was never gonna, I was not equipped to be.
What did the person listening? So what area was your dad?
Oh, he was in business. He was a business person, and then that was my. So I just knew I wasn't going to be like that kind of a person.
You're a creative person.
I was a creative person. I didn't know any people who were working as artists or any of the things that I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, because that's interesting, isn't it? Because so as a child, I now know, because after my accident, after my brain injury, I didn't know who I was really. And then I found all these things. So I used to love writing as a child as well.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't know. I know that by my teens, I knew it was a thing you could do, and I really wanted to do it growing up. But, it's kind of like a wild dream, isn't it? And you think, what are the chances?
I mean, crazy.
Yeah. And then, but I think I always had that slight craziness where I dared to dream, and then that seems to have survived my brain injury, and I've just got that, and I remember, for the person listening, so I met you before once, very briefly, at the first, so having achieved my wild dream of becoming a children's author, and we are now with the same publisher, which is bonkers to me. And I met you at a drinks thing, and it was I just remember, and also I don't know if you know, but I can't recognize faces anymore. So so that's part of my injury. And my editor at the time said, thank God she told me that it was you, because otherwise I might have said, what do you do?
I probably
yeah, I know you're so lovely. You wouldn't have said anything. And she said, this is Cressida. Can I introduce you? And for me, that was such a moment in my career that compared to yours is only just getting started. But it's such a dream. And so do you remember a moment where you first thought, this is something I could do, or this is something I should pursue?
Yeah, it was a long time. Certainly as a little girl, even though I read a bit like, I wasn't part of 6 children, but I was often I was the oldest of my family, but also the cousins and everything. So I was often in charge of kind of the other kids, because back in the 70s, that's what happened.
Yes.
And so I was often reading to them and entertaining them and putting on plays that could entertain them. I was the head of the entertainment section, but it wasn't something that I thought, and I loved reading, So having this book published, a bit like you back then, we're now talking 30 years ago, about things that happened 50 years ago that are embedded in your childhood. That's what you write about often as a children's book writers, things that mattered to you when you were a child. And so this was my dream. I was achieving my dream, having this little pencil book made into an actual book. But when you look at this little pencil drawing and then think, what a journey.
Yeah.
So basically then it becomes what Romantic Flight is then its transformation from a book. It took a long time. Okay, so this was published, I suppose about 2000.
Mm.
So not quite 30 years ago when it was, maybe it was about 1999.
Because that was the one before How to Train Your Dragon, wasn't it?
Then How to Train Your Dragon.
That was 2003,
This
I think,
is one of the first editions of
No,
How
it's
to Train
not.
Your
Oh,
Dragon.
my
You can
goodness.
see it's got a different cover.
Oh, wow.
It's very...
As a big fan, I'm fanboying big time here.
Looking cover.
Thank you so much for bringing that.
This was in 2003. And then... But, how can you look at that and then think it's going to be made into a movie?
What's fun? Do you know what's really funny as well is that year, so that was the year of my accident as well, 2003.
No.
So the year that How to Train Your Dragon published was when my accident happened.
I'm so sorry.
Well, no, I mean, it
was when my son was born as well.
Oh, really? That's so lovely. Yeah. My nephew was born as well. And funnily enough, I have these beautiful memories of taking him to see the first movie as well. He was such a big fan. My whole family, I mean, the girls love it as well. And I just think, but for me in particular, so that moment when I met you, there was so many things, because it wasn't just I've made it and I'm an author now, but it was genuinely so the first book, How to Train Your Dragon. So after my accident, I was struggling to read and write again. Mm-hmm. And so I had to start again. And so funnily enough, my nephew, who was born 2003, it always felt like we were on the same journey because my accident happened. And so then we would read together. And I was, back with picture books and stuff. And then How to Train Your Dragon, which was obviously big at the time, the next few years, was the first middle grade book that I picked up and got into. And
Hang on, is this pre the movie? Because the movie wasn't until
the movie was 2010.
The movie was 2010.
Yeah,
and and this little book as well. Yeah. I mean, Viking Who Was Seasick, it didn't do that. It wasn't like wow.
Yeah.
And then How to Train Your Dragon also was quite a culty. I'm wondering, it wasn't a massive hit.
It wasn't. It grew with the movie, obviously. Yeah.
Well, no, even pre-movie, it began to grow. I would say 2003, 2004.
In the best way.
It was already selling to a lot of different countries, actually, about 20 different countries, even in 2004 or whatever. But it sort of slowly grew. So when do you think you first read it? When you were
It probably wouldn't have been until about 2007.
2007.
Because it was quite a process, kind of picking it up. Yeah, with my reading and everything.
Yeah.
I fell in love immediately. And also your drawings are just so, it's very rare now, as you know, in publishing, it's very rare to have in middle grade particularly to have an author illustrator, because usually you don't get to do that, do you? They'll pick the illustrator for you, even if you've got your own drawings, because I have my own little sketches of Jabin, my series. And so that's so wonderful, because you know them better than anyone. And so for you to bring through their character and the character of every face in those books, and the kids love it. It's so magical. And there's so much I want to say, but just So for me, it was such a moment because that this book, this series, and then also with the movies as well. I mean, didn't they do an incredible job?
Incredible job.
Yeah.
And why that's unusual, by the way, is because I studied English at uni.
Okay.
And then I went to art school, and I was at art school for 5 years. So that was why, this was, I suppose I was 30 or something, 34, 32 when I did this, because I'd been, to both university and art school, which takes a while.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. And hang on, I've now forgotten what was your question.
Oh no, I mean, we were just talking about the movie and how did it? So I want to ask, because
the book's 2003.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing enough to become an author, period.
Yes, isn't it?
Then to do well, and
which did not happen. Can I just say, until How to Train Your Dragon was published. I mean, my first book was published in 1998, and this one in 2003. So that's 5 years. But I would say pretty moderate success.
Yeah. Which is usual.
Which is usual.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't realise that. I was just happy to have my books published.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was not, you know, I was having babies
Yes,
and, you know, and I was just delighted that I was able to, but, you know, it was not like, well, hey.
So it
And
must,
then this began to build up, you know, it began to be more, as I say, it was culty, and you obviously had heard of it
Yes,
by
yes,
2007. But it was not like, you know, and DreamWorks bought the film rights, but lots of books get optioned and never get made.
Nothing ever happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I wasn't really taking it seriously for a very long time. And this is why I'm romantic. Anyway, but yes.
So, I mean, I'm interested because do you remember a moment where or it sounds like maybe you just didn't believe it for a long time, but was
really
there a moment?
I really
Were you sort of saying to your
believe
agent, yeah, whatever, you know, like.
Well, no, I believed it sufficiently. When I say, okay, so I believed it sufficiently to think that, yeah, it was a possibility. And there were obviously, and, you know, the first screenwriter, I knew that the studio were very interested in it. I knew they were interested in it, and it really spoke to them. And they were doing a lot of work on it. But even then, I also knew that studios do lots of work on things, and because and they don't necessarily get made. And there were a lot of different writers, you know. It's probably the same, you know, every time. But I mean, there were lots of different screenwriters and different directors, and it was a journey. So it was 2004 when they picked up the option.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and
so
then
6
there was
years then.
Yeah, there was 6 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Different. I mean, when the producer Bonnie Arnold, who I'm still, you know, very good friends. In fact, I was just having lunch with her today.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, lovely Bonnie Arnold. She became the producer quite early on, I suppose in about 2006, maybe. So sort of 2 years in. But Dean and Chris didn't come on board, who were the directors, didn't come on board until about 2008.
Oh, wow.
So there'd been 4 years of development before they came on board. And then it was quite a sort of rush. Not a rush, but you know,
that's
2
what
years.
I hear in Hollywood. When it happens, suddenly it's quick.
Then it really happened. I mean, they had, you know, not much time. I don't know. I can't remember why it was all then happening. It was then go. And of course they sent scripts and, you know, and everything. But it's quite difficult to. I don't know if you've read a film straight, but it's quite. And they've sent loads of visuals. But it's quite difficult to imagine. Right? And I really admired them. This was the thing. I really admired them, Dean and Chris, because they'd made Lilo and Stitch, which was a really unusual movie for Disney at the time. It was very sort of groundbreaking. A really interesting movie. So I was very hopeful. But, you know, so there was a moment when I went out to Los Angeles. I suppose it must have been 2009. And
that must have been such a moment.
It was a big moment.
Yeah. How did you feel? Like getting on that plane? And it must have been wild.
It was quite wild, you know, because I was thinking, oh my goodness, I really hope, because I knew they were going to show me the actual rough of, you know, the whole thing. And they had a few completed scenes. So I knew that it was going to be a big moment, you know, because then I'd be able to see, you know. And so I asked, because, you know, I didn't want to upset, you know, I knew that, that's the thing. During the 6 years of development, I knew how much hard work it was to make a movie.
Right,
and I knew, and I see firsthand, and I'm constantly amazed at the work and the passion and the
number
love,
of people involved.
The number of people and how much they care. You know, they really cared. And so I didn't want, you know, I really wanted it to work, but because it's such a heart project for me, and it's so personal, it's such a personal project for me, because of it being about my dad and my childhood, and it's got all the themes, and it's about nature and looking up, and a new kind of a hero who solves problems with their creativity rather than punching them.
Yes.
You know, those are themes incredibly close to my heart.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot riding on it. So I was on that plane quite nervous.
Oh.
And exactly. And then I said, please, can I go into a studio and see the rough just on my own?
Yeah.
Will nobody come in with me? Because I didn't want everybody to be looking at me to see whether or not I liked it or not. You know, because I kind of thought this is just going to be too awful.
Yeah.
So I went in, and most of the movie was just still in little black and whites, or they just sort of roughed out kind of scenes. But there was one completed scene, and it wasn't the romantic flight scene actually. But it was the scene where Hiccup finds Toothless in the cavern. You know, he shot him down.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite. I mean, I love that moment when Hiccup said, I couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
You know, because in his eye, I saw myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that scene had stunning lighting, and it was so beautiful. And I just thought from the moment I saw that scene, I thought it's going to be fine.
That was it.
It's going to be fine. Relief.
Oh,
it's going to be great.
Amazing.
Not only just fine, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And that was just so exciting.
I mean, I love that. I mean, for me, what I take from your use of the dragons is it's such a great way of teaching empathy. As you say, it's about nature and teaching kids empathy. And what I love is how different in some ways the books and the movies are.
Yeah.
But they both kind of do that in different ways. So obviously in the books, you know, it's about speaking to the dragons, not yelling at them.
Yeah.
And whereas with Hiccup in the movies, you know, it's they were literally killing them, and then Hiccup's like, how about we don't do that?
Well, that happened. The killing of, later in the series, there's more killing of, and sort of capturing dragons and keeping them enslaved. In the series gets darker, but not until much later. And you could never have that in a movie.
No.
You know, you have to have movies are very different. Things are much shorter.
Yeah.
And so you need
that arc to be sort of
and Hiccup
summed up.
doesn't ride on the back of a dragon until
No.
which is where I've anyway. But I love that. I mean, the genius team.
Yeah.
I mean, Bonnie Arnold, producer of Toy Story.
Yeah.
You know,
you couldn't really ask for better, could you? It's incredible.
Dean and Chris, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Dean, you know, such a genius. And he's done the live action movies as well as, you know, we've just finished filming the second live action movie.
Did you get to go on set?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yes. Because also that was much easier because they filmed in London, in North London, the second one. The first one was in Northern Ireland, both in the UK. You know,
Fantastic.
so amazing. The whole team, British, not the whole team, you know, Mason, obviously, who plays Hiccup is American, but, you know, genius artists. I mean, the animated art, you know, just genius, just beautiful, stunning. I just couldn't have been happier. But then the live action, so many jobs here in London. All of the centre for creating all the dragons, digital dragons, is here in London.
Wow.
And just to circle back again to Romantic Flight, you see how these, you know, one track setting off all of these. John Powell, who created that music, he is Scottish. He's a hugely successful music composer who, you know, composes beautiful music for so many movies. But he is actually Scottish. He lives out in Los Angeles, but he's Scottish. And so I think that the movies were very special to him as well. And in fact, on movie 3, he used a Gaelic choir. His I think he said to me once that his grandmother came from the Outer Hebrides, and so he used Gaelic, full-blown Gaelic choirs.
Amazing. There is, you can definitely hear that.
Yeah.
It's which just brings sets the tone for the whole thing. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and the bagpipes.
So that must have been do you remember the first time that you heard the soundtrack for the first movie?
Well, I'm just trying to think when that was, because I was that probably was before that visit. I can't quite, you know, to be absolutely honest, I can't quite remember. But they sent it to me. They sent it to me before I heard it saw it on the film track.
Yeah.
And then they recorded it in Air Studios. Again, we are world.
Yeah.
We have our kind of,
it's amazing, isn't
our
it?
creative industries are incredible.
Yeah.
So all of the animated movies, the soundtrack was recorded up in Air Studios up in North London. And we are amazing at
it
this
is,
stuff.
and we've got some incredible people here.
That
just do amazing jobs. I was wondering, how do you can you imagine going back to little Cressida, who loved reading? When did you start writing?
That is a question that actually I get asked an awful lot, because it's very odd, but people sometimes almost feel guilty. And I take this as a compliment. They feel guilty that they loved the books and they loved the movies.
That seems odd.
But they feel guilty that they love the books and the movies, and yet there are lots of differences between the books and the movies.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I think books sometimes have a real hold on people's hearts. And people love books because they can kind of imagine.
Yeah.
So it becomes very personal.
Yeah.
You know, you imagine stuff when you read a book, don't you? And it's partly what the author writes and what the reader imagines.
Yes.
So when they go to the movie and there are some obvious differences, like, you know, the riding dragon and the hunting dragon are muddled together, you know, so Toothless isn't this cute little, you know, green dragon like he is in the books. They then feel guilty. Oh, I really enjoyed it, but am I sort of allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Because the author,
it's so different.
So I think it's just fine as long as it's true to the spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The important thing is it true to the spirit of the books? And I really feel it is.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do with the offshoot series, like the How to Train Your Dragon School offshoot series, is because the other thing that I love about it is that it introduces children to the books who are not necessarily reading books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant, because there are a lot of those.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah, and we love them to bits.
We love them to bits.
They're my favourites. No, I love them all. I love all children.
But
there's something so satisfying about
isn't there?
Talking about stories to kids who aren't there yet. And
who you know, and trying to get them
haven't found the story yet for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so with the Dragon School ones, they're even a bit shorter even than the first How to Train Your Dragon, because the How to Train Your Dragons do get a bit longer as you go through the series. But this is a bit shorter.
Yes.
A bit even more visual.
Yeah.
And it takes place right in the middle of the series.
Yes.
Where
straight
Hiccup,
into the action.
Straight into the action, but also where Hiccup already has his riding dragon.
Yes.
So that you can immediately feel, if you're a watcher of films,
yes,
the kid will immediately...
There's more crossover.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which is brilliant.
And also, Kamikaze, who's the girl here, doesn't appear till book 3 in the book series.
Yeah.
So a reader who loves
page 1 in the new books.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for that.
Yes. No, I love it. I love it. But how amazing to have so many different parts of the story and different variations. And as you say, it's about the spirit. And one of the things I learned, and which helps me not worry too much when editing and stuff now on my own work, is that when I always try and keep in mind when I'm obsessing over this paragraph or that paragraph, and I think, you know what you take away from a book or a movie is kind of how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
You don't remember every word. You don't remember every paragraph. There might be one or two that you think of, but it's how it makes you feel. And so, like you say, so long as the spirit is there and it's
done with so much passion.
Yes.
I mean, Jerry Butler, who plays Stoick, I mean, he is so committed to that part. You know, he did
an incredible job.
He
did an incredible job.
Incredible job.
I can
Mason,
hear it now.
all of the guys, you know, Gay playing Snotplow, Nico, who's playing Astrid, you know, they just care passionately about it.
Yeah.
It's a really sort of, it's a real love project for all of them for some reason. How to train that.
Yeah. I wondered how your dad, who obviously, as you say, had a big, made a big impression on you, huge. Did he You mentioned that he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he get to see much of this happen, or was he?
Yeah. He spent most of my 20s, bless him, my dad, because he always said he never liked to influence. But as a child, but actually he was always saying she's never going to get a job in my 20s because I kept on going to art school, I think. But in his gentle way. But yes, he did. He did get to see. He got to see the books, and he was very, because he was a very quiet kind of. He was one of those old fashioned who didn't really like talking about their feelings very much.
So to have most dads back then.
Yes, most dads. Exactly, that's so relatable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so to have a kind a daughter who's jumping up and down and writing books and Hollywood movies about your relationship and talking on things like this, to say, Stoick was really my dad. He was very game about it.
Yeah.
He was very game about it. And I think he was very proud. I hope he wasn't. But it was quite a weird experience. There's a moment when, because we didn't always agree about everything, like my lovely dad and we had some differences of opinion on something. There's a moment in the movie, and I was sitting next to him at some premiere, I suppose, which was the first time that when Stoick yells, "You are not my son!" And that was, oh my goodness, that was a bit of a moment.
Yeah. And you were next to your dad for that?
Yeah.
Oh.
But, I know it meant a lot to him. I know it meant a lot to him because, he had, by his bed, he had a copy of How to Train Your Dragon that he had, actually, that I'd put into an auction for charity, and I'd drawn some special pictures of all of the characters. And then my dad bid on it, and he bought it. It was for charity, so that was lovely. And after he died, I discovered it was beside his bed. It was in his bed. So now that copy is beside my bed, in my bedside.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
What a wonderful thing. And how lovely that he did get to see all this happen. He,
I think he was very proud.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you should be very proud of yourself as well. I don't know if people say that enough to you, but you should be
they say it to me the whole time.
Do they?
Yes.
You're sick of it.
No, I'm never sick of it, because that's, how nice is that?
Yeah.
Because when you're a writer, you're writing to touch other people, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or to be to other people, hopefully, what you're passing on is what books were to you.
Yes.
Books to me were a comfort.
Yeah.
In times when I was growing up, when I was finding things difficult.
Yeah.
And you read, Pippi Longstocking, she becomes a hero for you.
Yeah.
When you're finding things tough.
Yeah.
And then to hear from somebody else that has meant something to them when they were in a time of trouble.
It's magic, isn't it?
How magic is that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I get that a lot, partly, and it's interesting you said that you've been ill. I get a lot of kids who are kind of going through difficult times, who are being bullied, or a lot of kids who are sick, who it said it meant something to them. Because I suppose he's going on a quest, isn't he, Hiccup?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of adversity.
And as you say, he's not, he sticks out. His name's literally Hiccup.
His name's literally Hiccup.
And also I loved in the movies, obviously he ends up disabled as well.
Yes.
And that was a bit of a moment because for a kid's movie of that sort, and that, funnily enough, so one of my nephews, that I think I mentioned about it, he was living with a disability at the time, and the two of us seeing that, we didn't expect it. We didn't know that was going to happen. And I remember we talked about it afterwards, and that made these things, they make a big difference.
Big difference. I think it's almost the first kind of Hollywood hero.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you must
and
have been
immediately, it was like, that is so hiccupy.
Yes.
That's such a hiccupy. That's right.
And the fact that he kind of just got on with it.
Yes.
And he made it.
Yeah.
And it was
it's
so...
like not... Yeah, and he made it a creative...
Yes.
He used his creativity to have those really cool kind of...
Yeah. He kind of styled it out.
Empowering, I felt.
100%. I thought that was just such a wonderful thing.
Genius.
Just quickly, going back to your childhood? Because obviously you grew up in the 70s. Essentially, you were a kid in the 70s, weren't you?
Kid in the 70s.
And that was a very different time to now. Let's to say the least.
I mean, it's shoot. It's 50 years ago. It's 45. It's half a flipping century ago.
It's bonkers when you say it like that, isn't it? I already feel like it's we're about the same age, Cress.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it must seem. I mean, what's funny is obviously we talk about reading. We talk about reading. Reluctant readers and the kids. And as authors now, obviously we're constantly mindful of kids that are struggling and are constantly distracted by all the screens and things now. And obviously the 70s was such a different time and you didn't have a lot of those things. So books for you, I imagine, would have been, absolutely magical because you didn't have, I mean, I was born in 83. So even for me, we didn't have anything like what the kids have now growing up. And so, going to the library and getting books, it was such a thing.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Everybody went to the library. Well, it felt like it.
Yeah.
I mean, kids from wealthy families went to the library. It was it was a sort of social norm. It was quite, it's so difficult to explain the difference of the times.
Yeah.
But everybody went to the library because it didn't matter where do you know what I mean? Yeah. And therefore people stuck up for the libraries, I guess, because everybody was using them. Everybody was using them.
Absolutely.
So there was nobody saying...
There was no going, we should stick up for those library people. It was like, that was everyone.
Yeah, that was everybody. When people say, well, people don't use libraries anymore. And I think to myself, well, you don't use library because you're wealthy enough to buy books.
100%.
So
I'm always really, when I do school events and things, I'm sure you do, I'm always mindful of the booksellers if they come along and, they're selling books or whatever. But I'm always really keen to say to those kids, to all the kids that you can get it in the library and you can, usually the schools will have a few copies in the library because, the thing is the kids don't have any control over whether their mum or dad buys the book or have the money. And it's a lot of money these days.
Libraries are not old-fashioned, because we need that. There's a very modern need. But back in the 1970s, everything was so different. You're right. I mean, 90s, 80s, early 98 wouldn't have been. Nowadays kids get a smartphone age 9. Back in the 1970s,
I tell you what, mine don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
That's just the average age.
Yeah.
But back in the 1970s, I mean, oh goodness, it's so difficult to. But I mean, even if you weren't on an uninhabited island off the west coast of Scotland with no electricity in a house with no electricity, which is what we were on. Nothing. I mean, literally, there was just one house.
Yeah.
No supermarket. Nobody there. You know what I mean? Nothing. No other houses. Anyway, but even if you weren't there, even when you were in London, when I was in London, the telly. I don't think we had a telly until.
Did you know?
I think Princess Anne got married, and therefore they wanted to watch it on the telly, or something, and then they got a telly.
But of course, there was only 2-3 channels, and it wasn't 24/7.
And the children's telly was really baffling. I mean, there were things
I was going to mention the TV later, but you'll probably be like, "What TV?" Yeah,
the telly was baffling. It was all kind of
bit obscure. Yeah, some of it was a bit like
Michael Bentine's Potty Time. I mean, what was that? And Dougal was really scary.
Yeah.
Magic Roundabout.
Oh, I know. You think, what were they smoking?
I don't know, but the whole thing was very, it was so it was very different. And sometimes there wasn't even anything. There was just that picture of the girl with the with the spooky clown.
And you just have to wonder when this is going to end.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do very quickly something that I like to call Speed Down Memory Lane, which this is the 70s edition, especially for you. So it's a quick fire.
Wow. Memory lane. I have to say, I have not got the excuse of having had an accident.
No. I mean, look, it'll be very relatable if you do forget things.
I will forget.
And also, you've already said you didn't have a TV.
I will forget.
If there's anything you don't even recognise,
I know I did have a TV from a certain age. I can't remember when Princess Anne got married. But I think that's why we got a telly. Anyway.
So you will have. Okay.
Oh,
so we're going to try and do it.
Maybe that was why we got a colour telly. Maybe we did have black and white telly.
Okay.
I can't remember. Okay.
We're going to try
for it.
We're going to try and do this really quickly.
Now, you see, this might embarrass me. So maybe that's the thing. That's interesting. Maybe I do get embarrassed if I can't remember things. That's interesting. Why? Isn't
you
that
shouldn't,
interesting?
But yeah, that is interesting.
No, I shouldn't.
No, you're fabulous the way you are.
Oh, you darling.
So we're going to try and do this quickly. So you have to choose one of the two as I shout them out. Okay, so time to speed down memory lane. Space hoppers or roller skates?
Oh, roller skates.
Fab.
Yeah.
Blue Peter or magpie?
Blue Peter.
Great. The tiger who came to tea or very hungry caterpillar?
Oh, tiger who came to tea.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, although very hungry caterpillar is a work of genius.
It is.
It really is. But I mean, I've got a real affection for tiger.
I know. They're both so gorgeous, aren't they?
And I also met her, and she's so lovely. Anyway,
the Carpenters or no, I could talk to you all day about this. The Carpenters or Fleetwood Mac?
Oh, Carpenters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a soft. I love both, but Carpenters. My mum and dad had all their, and it just to me memories again. It's just really special.
Memories.
Sherbet dip dab or blackjacks?
So sherbet dip. Hang on.
Sherbet dip dab.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Sherbet dip dab.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it?
That was fun. What happened to those?
I know.
Oh my goodness. I'm remembering it all.
Yeah.
It just brings up the 70s.
It's funny, isn't it? Rubik's Cube or Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh, Etch-a-Sketch. as a drawer. Have to be.
100%.
Yeah. I don't think I ever learnt to do Rubik's Cube. Anyway, yes.
Yeah. The Wombles or the Clangers?
Oh, that's terrible. Putting me in that situation. I love them both.
I know.
I'm going to have to say the Clangers again.
Oh, I'm kind. You can say both.
A genius. A genius.
Okay.
So that was sorry.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
You're just. I'm wanting to wander down memory lane.
I know. Me too.
Go down the alleyway.
Vol-au-vents or prawn ring?
Sorry, darling.
Vol-au-vents or prawn ring? Prawn ring. Very 70s.
Vol-au-vent.
Fabulous.
I'm a vegetarian. Yeah.
Amazing. Roald Dahl or Enid Blyton? This is mean.
Oh, that's impossible.
Yeah.
That
I don't even know why it's here.
Tricky.
It's too mean.
I mean, how? Yes, I love them
Impossible.
both. I mean, Enid Blyton, I read everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
okay, I'm going to last one. ABBA or Bee Gees?
ABBA.
Oh,
yes.
Absolute
ABBA.
legends.
Thank you for the music.
Yeah.
The songs
literally.
we're singing.
Yeah, we could sit and sing that all day.
For all the joy they're bringing.
We are going to go back to the present now.
Yes.
So I'm just going to hit this button. So we're back in the present, and I wondered, what is a new happy memory that you're going to make?
A new happy memory.
Because to me, that's really, as someone who had to live without memory for a long time.
Yes.
Do
you focus on the future?
And the present, and just,
That's so interesting, which we should all do more of.
Yeah. As important
Living
as memories
in the
are.
Past
as important as it can be. Yeah.
That's such an interesting thing. And I think that's very right. I like a lot of activities that center you in the present, rather even than the future, although I'm really looking forward to going away to France in 2 weeks' time.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a good memory.
That's going to be a good memory already.
Lovely.
But I love doing things that center you in the present, like walking and gardening.
Well, it sounds silly, but what I always say, something that I've learned is that today, it sounds silly, but in my mind, today is the most important day in your life because it's the only day when you're alive. Yeah. You know, all those memories can be special and meaningful, but today's the day. And on that note, I want to say I am so grateful to have spent this time with you today.
I've loved it.
It's been a dream. And
it's been
I
an
want to
absolute
say
dream.
I'll be in big trouble if I do not show you these new dragons that were created by my children for you. This one here, which I think may be fart related.
Wow.
That's from Phoebe, aged 10.
Yeah.
And this one here from Lucy, who is aged 8, just turned 8. And this is you riding the movie version of Toothless.
I love it.
She's got your reading glasses and everything.
She has. I love it. Can I take a photo?
There, yeah, absolutely. But first, I'm just going to say a big thank you to the lovely person listening and watching with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It's been such a dream. If there's anybody you think would like to have hung out with us as well, please feel free to share. Also, let me know what your flashback tracks are and what memories they bring back to you. And I will be reading some of those out very soon. So please let us know via our socials. All the links will be in the description. Thank you so much. And Cressida, also, very quickly, please, if you like the sound of all these gorgeous How to Train Your Dragon stories, you can now get these brand new spin-off books, How to Train Your Dragon School. Cressida, this has been a dream. Thank you so much for being with me.
Wonderful. I've loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've learned such a lot. I'm going to really go away with that. Living for today is such an important thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you, Cressida.
Pleasure.